Hi, my name is Luis Domenech and my partner is Luis Rampola. Today we'll be taking you through our ER diagram and explain its entities and relations. So, in our ER diagram, we have four entities, three of them being weak entities. First, we have the user, where we have its user ID, which is a primary key, its name, email, their password, and the created at attribute, which is used to know when the account was created. Next, we have the interaction weak entity. Here, the interaction entity serves as the core for all of our relations. So this entity has the interaction ID, which is a primary key, and the interaction type, which is something like, share, read, etc. Next, we have the tweet entity, which has the tweet ID, which is a primary key. It also has the message attribute and the tweet date, which is the date when the tweet was created. We also have the user ID, which is a foreign key and a reference to the user that created the tweet. We also have reply to ID, because a tweet might also be a reply. Because of that, reply to ID is a foreign key that references the original tweet, which this tweet will be a reply to. Finally, we have the notification entity. This one has the notification ID, which is the primary key. It has the notification date, which is the date it was created. And it also has the notify foreign key, which basically points to the user that has to be notified of something. A notification type is the type of notification. This notification will be, for example, a notification for a like, for a post that was created, for a share, etc.
So let's look at the relationships in the table, and let's start with all the ones that surround interaction. So basically, in our model, everything pretty much goes through interaction. So a user does an interaction, and that interaction can either be with a user or with a tweet. And so based on the interaction type, we'll be able to determine whether that reference ID is for a tweet ID or a user ID. So for example, if a user likes a tweet, that will be stored under interaction, where the user ID is the user who liked the tweet, the interaction type is like, and the reference ID is the tweet that he or she liked. And we know that the reference ID is a tweet because of the interaction type, since a user can't really like another user. And if a user followed a user, on the other hand, the interaction type would be follow, and we know that the reference ID is user ID. So that means we can also get all the users that have retweeted a tweet, for example, by getting back the user IDs from the interactions table, where the interaction type is retweet and the reference ID is a tweet in question, and so on with all the other cases of interactions and users and tweet combinations. And now let's look at notification. The notifications table will work in a similar manner to the interactions table, in that it references, this time, an interaction. So since a notification can be triggered by either a follow, a block, which is a user type interaction, and a like, dislike, reply, etc., which are tweet interactions, then that's why we chose to have notifications referencing an interaction. So that means that notification notifies user and references an interaction. So for example, if you want to get all the notifications for a particular user, you just query the notifications table, where the user ID is the user that you're looking at. And if you want to see all the replies that that user has gotten, you query the notifications table for that user, where the interaction is an interaction type for reply, and you get back all the IDs for the interaction reference ID.